Hello everyone, how is it going? On the OCD recovery journey, you have got to be willing to feel like absolute crap. And I am not saying that lightly. And I know you don't want to hear that. I didn't want to hear that. I didn't even want to think about that. I didn't even want to comprehend the thought of feeling like crap for a long, long time. But when you really think about what the recovery journey entails, what it consists of, how to recover, you're going to go through, and you're going to have to go through, a shit ton of discomfort. I can't sugarcoat this. I can't dress this up. I can't pretend this isn't the reality of the recovery journey. I wish I could. I wish I could give you a very quick fix and I could say, jump up and down, do a handstand, sing a song, and then you recover. I wish I could tell you, thoughts are thoughts, mindfulness, just leave it there, and then you recover. But that is not the reality. That isn't going to get you anywhere, I'm afraid. That will leave you feeling even more stuck and hopeless because of the frustration that you're not making any progress and that you're just going round in circles. You can't view recovery as a quick fix. Let's picture a Formula One race. Now in Formula One, you have to do at least one pit stop. Okay? Now as you go into the pit stop, it's quite incredible what you see. They change the tyres, they fix things in about, you're talking 2.5 seconds, 3 seconds, right? You see the mechanics, they go in, they change the tyres, they go out and the car drives off again, right? Now, if you're picturing OCD recovery like that, it sounds crazy, doesn't it? But when you talk about quick fix, that's what people are expecting. I expected that. I thought if I just sign up for one session and I can say what I'm stuck with, how OCD was latching, and then I'd be given advice and then I'm fixed. As if I'm a Formula One car. My tyres have been changed, right? My rear wing has been fixed, right? And off I go, carrying on with my merry life, and OCD's gone, right? I go in and OCD is fixed by a therapist, by a coach, and then that's it. I'm gone. I get on with my life. Right? Like it's just a one session fix. Like it's just something, I'll get on with my life. I'll just stop in the pit lane, get sorted out, and then off I go. Right? Well, it don't quite work like that, I'm afraid. OCD recovery is not a 3-second pit stop. It's not a sudden fix. It's not a sudden change, right? It's not a sudden, do this, off you go, and then carry on with life as if nothing's happened. OCD recovery is an overhaul. It's a factory reset. It's a change in how we view things. It's a change in how we do things in behaviours, the compulsions, the cut and the avoidance. The life structure changes significantly. My life today looks very different as to when I was stuck because my mindset has changed. My robust nature of how I view life's problems and hassles and adversities. I'm very good at problem solving now because I've had to problem solve with OCD. When OCD was firing different things at me, right, and to get to a recovery state in my recovery journey, you've had to get very good at overcoming obstacles. You have to get very good at pivoting, at adjusting, at adapting, at being flexible. And recovery journey is like that, right? When OCD switches up, we have to have that knowledge and insight as to what to do. That we're not frantically looking for that quick fix. We're not trying to get rid. We're not resisting the symptoms. We're not fighting with it. We're letting it take over. We're letting time pass. We're floating with it. We're floating with all the sensations. But the key part, you're looking at what you're scared of. You're breaking the beliefs down. You're changing your perspectives on the fears. So OCD can no longer unlatch. Not doing it to get rid of OCD, you're doing it to deconstruct the internal framework that OCD is currently thriving upon. And that framework consists of faulty, irrational beliefs and perspectives around your core fears. It consists of compulsions. The OCD cycle is fueled on compulsions. Your compulsive behaviours has been what's keeping you stuck. The very poor life structure, the procrastination, the laziness, the inability to be flexible in dealing with problems, right? And the resistance to feel like shit. The whole start of this video, you're going to have to feel like shit. Of course, we don't want to feel like shit. Of course, we don't want to feel like shit for the rest of our life, but we have to be willing to feel like crap in the meantime, right? And also, the key part, you have to be willing to accept that you could feel like crap for the rest of your life. And you have to be willing to accept that OCD is here to stay. That does not mean 24/7 suffering. It's accepting that, hey, OCD is here to stay. And you're dropping that resistance to it. You're not fighting it. And you're focusing on your beliefs and your perspectives to become more rational in the long run in all areas of your life. And if you become more rational and start adopting the philosophy of unconditional acceptance, then that leads or can lead to OCD recovery. Lots of different factors involved. If you're still doing compulsions, you're going to struggle. If your life structure is still poor, you're going to struggle. But that is a great starting point to get to recovery. Try and apply it to all areas of your life, and then that's going to put you in a great position in regards to your OCD recovery journey. Okay? And that is absolutely key. When we feel like shit, we've got to think, well, why have I got to feel like shit? Well, think of it like this. When you're cutting compulsions, your anxiety, your symptoms will increase. They will spike. They will go through the roof. Otherwise, you're not cutting the compulsion, are you? Right? The compulsion has been the behavior or the mental working it out. That is what you've been doing for so long, and that's got you to watching this video of me talking. To change that, you're going to get all kinds of increase in symptoms. View it as withdrawal symptoms, right? So when you come off a drug, you're going to get withdrawal symptoms because your body and your brain isn't used to that, right? It hasn't adapted to that, hasn't adjusted to that, right? When we stop doing compulsions, right? When I stopped avoiding, when I stopped seeking reassurance, when I stopped confessing, my symptoms were sky high. They rocketed. They went through the fucking roof. And the symptoms and the intensity and the discomfort, wow, that was severe. But that doesn't mean I was doing worse. That's actually a good thing. I just come off a call with somebody today, and they had a fear around how they were going to feel around Christmas. A totally valid fear, right? Us as OCD sufferers, Christmas used to ramp up with me. Christmases and birthdays and any kind of big event, any kind of celebration, OCD would really get a grip on that. And I would say, hey, I would much rather your Christmas today being anxious, being a bit ropey, a bit up and down with all kinds of symptoms there, as long as you're cutting compulsions. Because ultimately, at least you're still doing Christmas, you're still physically doing it, you're still there, right? But when we say we're sacrificing it, we only mean that because you're going to feel not great, right? But you're still actually physically doing Christmas. What I don't want you doing is doing compulsions all around Christmas and trying to fight it all the time and giving into so many OCD checking compulsions and safety compulsions, you name it, all kinds of reassurance, Googling. Although you might feel better on Christmas Day, you might not be as anxious, you're then sacrificing future Christmases because you will remain stuck doing those compulsions. Right? There's no way around it. You will remain stuck if you keep doing compulsions. So I'd much rather that you have a bumpy Christmas this year as long as you are putting in the recovery work, right? Because we have to sacrifice the short run, as in let the feelings go up, let ourselves feel anything. Let's be willing to feel like shit this Christmas, and with the eye on the long run, that Christmas is next year, the year after, no time frame, there's no deadline, I can't put a time frame on that. But with the hope that if we sacrifice it this year by cutting those compulsions, with all the symptoms increasing, that future Christmases, OCD wouldn't have that grip, because we hope, no guarantee, that you'd be at that stage of recovery, right? That you'd be at a stage where OCD hasn't been gripping for so long and it hasn't latched, right? So, and the absence of guilt, the absence of shame, the intrusiveness comes down, i.e. recovery. right? But you won't get to that stage if you can't embrace discomfort today. If you are straight up refusing to feel like shit, you won't recover, because you have to feel like shit. You're going to feel like you have to go through hell. It's going to feel like you're on a war zone, right? On a battlefield, right? It is going to feel like you've been given no respite at all. It's going to feel like you just want to just get relief. You would do anything for relief, but we have to show that grit and that determination, and we have to just grin and bear it at times. There is no other way. People often ask me, I'm feeling like shit, I'm panicking, I'm crying, I'm rolling around on the floor, I feel like I can barely function. What can I do? And there is nothing that you can do in that moment. There is nothing that one can do. I'm sorry to break that news to you, but we have to get used to feeling like crap. Otherwise, if anything you do in that moment for relief, because think, when you're triggered, right? When an OCD sufferer is triggered, we would do anything to get relief. Anything, right? We'd go, I remember people used to say to me, what do you want for Christmas? And I used to say, well, I didn't used to say this out loud, but I certainly used to think, I just want OCD gone. I just want it gone. Do you want money, Sam, for Christmas? No, I just want OCD gone. Do you want a nice, do you want some wine? Do you want some clothes? Do you want a new Xbox? Do you want this? Do you want that? Yeah, I'll have that. But deep down, what I really wanted was recovery. I wanted OCD gone, right? That's what I wanted. So please don't think that it's some kind of easy journey, right? To get to that stage, right? Okay, so where I was going there was, when we're triggered, you're going to do anything for relief, but we've got to develop that skill set, if you wish, to not cave in to that short-term relief. Okay, we have to be willing to feel like crap, no matter whether it's your Christmas, no matter whether it's your birthday, no matter whether it's your wedding day, whatever, or just any day, just a random day, right? We got to be willing to feel like absolute shit. Okay, because if you're not, and then let's say you're having some good days, for example, maybe OCD is back down. If you're not accepting of feeling like crap, acceptance is an agreement. It's not that you like feeling like crap, but we have to be accepting of feeling like crap. And if you can't do that, if you struggle to accept crap feelings and uncomfortable feelings, fear of fear is going to cause major problems for you, because it's going to be scanning. You're going to be looking for that next thing that OCD is going to grip to and hook in there and anchor in and get a grip. And you're like, no, please don't latch to that. And then it's going to hit you twice as hard. So we have to be willing to feel like utter crap. I truly got to a stage on my journey where I was like, surrender. I waved the white flag and said, surrender. I'm up for feeling like utter crap. I'm up for rolling around on the floor. I'm up for feeling these symptoms so fucking intensely. I'll take it, because I got fed up of suffering with OCD. I got fed up from going from one setback to the other. I got fed up of going from one trigger to the other. I got fed up of false dawns. Felt like I've cracked it. Felt like I've nailed it, and then nothing, or a huge setback, huge relapse, right? I had to be willing to drop dead rather than do a compulsion. I had to be willing to let myself feel crap forever in order to not get rid of it today, i.e. do a compulsion. I had to add that kind of mindset, right? Because it's super serious. We can't be half-hearted. You can't approach OCD recovery in a light-hearted fashion. You can't, right? Many times on my journey, I was too wishy-washy. I was too soft. I was too sort of lackadaisical, where it was like, ooh, and ahhing kind of thing. Ooh, that's a bit scary. I used to approach exposures and shame attacks. Ooh, that's a bit scary. I don't know about that. Oh, fuck that. That kind of attitude, right? The problem with that was that, how could I expect to be all in? How could I expect to commit myself to recovery with the and ahhing, right? I had to be all in, right? And to show and to get myself all in, I had to look back and go, do you really want to suffer your whole life, Sam? Right? I got to a stage and I thought, you know what? I would rather the worst case scenario that coming true, whatever the fear would latch to, maybe it was a health fear, maybe I had the fear of dying. or maybe I had the contamination fear, maybe it's an existential fear, maybe it's a moral related fear. And so I'd rather the worst case scenario happening than being stuck with OCD for the rest of my life, right? I'd rather that than doing compulsions, right? I'd rather take the risk of my worst case scenario actually happening than being stuck with OCD for the rest of my life. Because all we're doing here with compulsions, all you're doing with OCD is trying to constantly push away. Oh no, that can't possibly happen. That'd be the worst thing ever. Fighting thoughts, chucking thoughts away, fighting thoughts, resisting all the time, fighting everything, fighting OCD, constantly trying to work things out, right? Because you are so scared of taking that risk towards the worst case scenario. Now, that is not say you want the worst case scenario happening. That's not say you'd like for it to happen. That's not saying that it will happen, right? But we need some kind of mindset here that, you know what, I'd rather take the risk that the worst case scenario happens than doing compulsions, than being stuck with OCD, because I did not want to be stuck with OCD. I got fed up suffering. I got fed up being locked in the internalized, locked up prison state in my mind. I was just caught in that battle. I was caught in that non-stop rumination, going round and round and round, and I thought, fuck this. I would rather take that risk. I'd rather, because think, with OCD, the risk factor feels super high. Everything that you do, every fear that you face, right? Every exposure that you do, every compulsion that you cut, every belief that you challenge, every perspective that you try and shift, it feels super, super risky. The risk factor feels super, super high. And if you get scared of that risk and think, oh no, that's too risky, that's too scary, OCD pulls you back in and you're trapped again. So that is exactly why I thought, fuck it. I'd rather take the risk here. I'd rather take that extra risk, run the risk of the worst case scenario happening rather than me doing compulsions and avoiding everything in my whole life, right? And to get to that stage, that does involve a shit ton of discomfort. So let's zip up that uncomfortable coat. Let's wear all the uncomfortable feelings. Let's bring it on. Let's wear it all, right? You know, many times I've just been wearing it, okay? Wearing it all, not trying to fight it. Zipping it up, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, and bringing it along for the ride whilst you're chipping away at your fears, you're cutting your compulsions, you're doing your exposures, you're doing everything advised in the coaching calls, and you're not trying to force it, you're not trying to rush it, but you're all in on recovery, okay? That is crucial. We have to be willing to feel like absolute crap. If Momin lets me, I want to title this video, Getting Used to Feeling Like Shit. Right? I wanted to see that. You know, when I was stuck with OCD, I wanted to see a title of video of getting used to feeling like shit, right? Because when I was feeling like shit, I'd have gone, right, there's a video right there. I'd have tried not to watch it compulsively and don't watch it compulsively, but I'd have had to get used to feeling like absolute crap in order to recover. So if you are feeling like crap, there is hope. You can get better. How you feel today is not an indication of forever. But to get to that stage of recovery, it will take time and patience and ultimately persistence, okay? If you are interested in one-to-one coaching calls, please email phil@ocdrecovery.com and you can get in touch with me, Sam, Rob, the founder of OCD Recovery, Nick, Momin, Gemma and Elliot, all doing coaching calls here, and we can book you into our very busy schedules as soon as we possibly can. And if you have liked this video, please leave a like. And thanks ever so much for watching. Take care, guys, and we'll speak again. Bye-bye.